And grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the epignosis. That word simply means the full and exact knowledge of God and of Jesus Christ our Lord. And listen, I greet you today in that awesome, ubiquitous name, for that name is above every other name. And what is that name? Why, Jesus Christ. Welcome to the show. My name is Sister Celeste, and boy, do we have a great show for you today. We are going to be talking about housing. It's a lot going on here in this city. I have some things I want to talk about, and we got a special guest, Mr. Herb Stratter, and we also have Sister Margaret, who is going to be my co-host today, and we have Sister Deborah sitting in the wings. She's going to be up shortly, but I wanted to just say this. There's little to no incentive for Detroiters to buy a house. And these are just my little pet peeves. Just deal with it right now for a minute, and then we'll go into the show. And the houses on the auction block are uninhabitable. I say this personally because I tried to buy one. Full of mold, no furnace, no tub, sink, electrical, or plumbing. And they want you to bid on it, and they will tell you you get a whopping 6 months to get it up to code, or they will repossess it. Modern day slavery. Property appraisals are distorted. Credit, you have to have credit, but we're going to talk more about credit because I just found out some good news about that. But if you have past debt, that's a no-no when you're trying to get a house. Red line, y'all know we red line here in Detroit. Come on now, we know insurance is even higher here. So this is nothing new. We know all about that. Property taxes are the highest. I was doing some research in the United States. Property taxes here in Detroit are higher here than anywhere else in this country. You have the light, water, gas. You have the banks got bailed out, but what about the folks that live here? So it's a lot of things going on there. During the foreclosure crisis, a lot happened. I was telling Mr. Stratter about a cousin of mine that lived in a house when her parents passed away. They had 2 houses, and they came and knocked on her door and told her they had bought her house out of tax. I guess she owed delinquent taxes, and to the tune of only $3,000, and they sold her house out of probate court, and they came and told her, you can start paying me rent to $750 a month in a house that she had been living in. So it's some things that are going wrong, and we gotta say something. So that's why I'm here today. And now joining me, and I just wanted to say this one thing before I bring Mr. Stratter. Every human being deserves decent, safe, and affordable housing. That's what I wanted to say today. So without further delay, meet, greet. I know he's been on this station before. Mr. Herb Stratter, I had the awesome opportunity to meet him through my daughter. God bless you. Thank you for coming to the show. I know I didn't sound like a church lady.
Oh, that's
just
okay.
Then, but thank you for coming out. And Sister Margaret, thank you for being a part
absolutely.
of the show. And I know you got some questions.
I had every
Mr.
intention
Stratter.
on being here. I wanted to hear this. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr.
Well,
Stratter.
Sister Celeste, I understand your emotions and I feel you. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me on your show. I'm very happy to be here. You know, one of the reasons that we established Stratter Academy, which I'm the CEO of, is so that we can educate a generation of people here in Detroit, because we're truly being leveraged. And it is, the facts are that we really do have the greatest opportunities in terms of real estate in the world right now. The greatest opportunities. That means that we have the lowest prices with the very best upside. There's a lot of buoyancy in the marketplace. There's tremendous demand. You don't see any for sale signs. This is I'm on the board of Detroit Association of Realtors, and this is the lowest inventory we've had that we are aware of since we've been in an association. there is a lot of what we may call raw inventory. That means there's like 70,000 houses that if you buy them and fix them up and then put them on the marketplace, they would immediately sell. But right now,
that's not
we suffer from a lack of inventory right now, ready inventory. Now think about this. There's a huge demand for housing right now. There is very little inventory whatsoever, and interest rates are very, very low. And yet, at the same time, the prices are low. Theoretically, how could prices be low when there's no inventory and interest rates are very, very low? I mean, if you have a mortgage on $100,000, a $100,000 mortgage principal and interest 10 years ago would cost you $900 a month. It could cost you at least $800 a month. Right now, it would cost you $550
Wow.
for a 30-year mortgage at 3.75% interest.
So why aren't we buying? What's happening, especially here in the city of Detroit? What is stopping us? What is bottlenecking us? What is blocking us from making those kinds of commitments?
Well, the fact of the matter is inventory. You got to have something to buy. Now, so you see up and down the street, there's vacant houses. And if there's a block that does not have a vacant house, Margaret, the next block got two. Every block in the city of Detroit have vacant houses, almost every single block, even Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, yes, everywhere. So what my students at Strather Academy have to do is go find those houses, get the address, and we look the owners up and we make offers to them. In other words, we go and unearth the inventory. These homes are held by the probate. Many of the homes are held by the Detroit Land Bank. Many of these homes are foreclosure properties, and some of them are just waiting for us to take and make telephone calls. So what we have to do is be proactive in finding these homes. Let's put it like this. My class go down to the sheriff's sale, which is another story I want to tell you about, every Thursday, and there's 30, 40 houses every Thursday available. Every Thursday. So the main thing that we have to do is to make sure that we educate our people. And there's a lot of very important points that I would like to talk to you about. One of the things, as you know...
Here, point two. Y'all get your pencils and your paper because I want him to give his number out.
Well, you know what?
And they can call in here, too.
Absolutely. Would you give them a number to call in here?
I wish I knew it.
Okay, then
Maybe
we'll
somebody can give it to me. But give
we'll
them your number also.
I believe that
There it
number
is
is
on the air.
313-868-0342. If you have any questions, just please call because I'm here to answer all of the questions, Detroiters. You know, Celeste, I've been fortunate enough to close a couple $1 billion in deals in Detroit. And you know, this little kid from Herbert Street, I never
Sure,
could
your
imagine.
commission was good.
The commissions have been good, the cash flow's
Put
been
that out
good.
there.
And you know, I've been able to use my money wisely. I've given away 3,100 scholarships.
Good.
And I've built 150 Optimist clubs.
Amen.
So I am very happy
And
about
I'm in
that.
that class. I start the next time it starts.
And your daughter is in my class, and
Yeah.
she's just fabulous. She wrote me a wonderful thing the other day, thanking me very much for her, well, what she's been able to accomplish so far. You know, the thing about it is, now we're having a seminar. This is February, and we have a financial literacy, a free seminar, and this seminar is going to be February 3rd tomorrow. It's going to be next Saturday the 10th, and at 1 to 4 o'clock, and it's also going to be Thursday the 15th from 6 to 8 o'clock. And if you want to come and get empowered, we're going to talk to you about some things that most people really don't know, quite frankly. I've asked people, and they seem not to know, and I'm going to ask you, and you tell me if you know this, and be very straightforward and honest. Just call 313-444-9691 to register, 313-444-9691, or you could come straight to Tower Center on Grand River and Greenfield, right there on the corner, 15400 Grand River at Greenfield. Park in the back. There's 600 parking spots, and come upstairs at 1 o'clock and be there. Get there early. As a matter of fact, I'm
I
going to
think
want
I
to
may show up. Yeah.
please show up.
Yeah.
Now there are some
Need to do
facts
that.
that I want to talk to you about. You know, 10
Tell
years
them
ago,
about the credit one that you just told us about. My goodness.
there are so many things to talk
Everybody
about.
got 100 points on their credit. They may not even know it.
Okay, I will get to. Let me finish just one little point. I get right there since I started.
Okay.
10 years ago, Detroit had 69.5% ownership. That was pretty significant. 69.5% ownership. Today, 55% of the people are renters. That is really something. And 70% of our homes are bought by people from outside Detroit.
70%?
70%. We're only buying 30% of all of our inventory in Detroit. Think about what our community is going to look like.
But
Just
why-
think about what it's going to look like in 20
But
years.
why are
by
they
2020.
renting? What's going on psychologically? What's happening in the city of Detroit? Why are they afraid to make purchases?
Well, you know,
let's get to that.
okay, let's get to that.
If
You know,
can answer
I am
that
so
one,
disheartened
then we
by
can,
a lot
we
of
can
people
end the show.
who takes a position that is not a great time to buy. It's the most fabulous time ever in history to buy a home.
Okay, I hope everybody
Now,
hear that.
because now,
This is a good time to make a purchase.
right,
buy a
home ownership
it is. Now, I want to
purchase.
answer the why question. What really happened is that once we hit a financial crisis, they bailed the banks out, but the Obama administration made a deal with the banks that the banks could not go after homeowners for deficiencies, for judgments and things. So they said to them, they fully reimburse them for all of their losses. So as a consequence, Les, the banks sold the houses for $1,000, for $2,000,
They gave
homes
them
of $100,000. They gave them away, and they created low comps. They make the price so low, it's psychologically low. Of course, these homes are worth way more than that. So the demand is back because rents are back. So rents are fully back to where they were 10 years ago, yet prices are only 30%. Think about that. The proof is in the pudding. The rents are fully back. People are paying what they used to pay for home ownership.
Yeah.
So now we have a situation where the prices are stuck in the mud. And for one thing, in order to get a FHA mortgage, you have to have at least a $30,000 sale price. So in many cases, it didn't even qualify for a HUD mortgage because it would be deemed predatory lending. So the combination is many people took a credit hit. But here's the good news, everybody.
Okay, so we got some good news.
We got some good news.
Good
As
news.
of January the 10th, 2017, they can know-
2017,
Yes.
January the 10th.
Right, and this is what education is about. This is what my purpose in life. I'm right in the zone.
Wow.
I'm doing what I want to do. I want to create a lot of needs. I'm creating the next generation of developers.
Good.
And we're helping homeowners who want homes.
Yes.
So we're here to fight the good fight. So here's what I like to tell
Amen,
all
amen.
of you listening. The facts of the matter is as of July the 10th, 2017, public items are no longer on your credit report.
Wow.
So if the first thing you do is pull your
Check
credit
your
report.
credit.
Check your credit.
You gonna be
you're gonna
pleasantly
faint
surprised.
first of all. Have somebody with you because your credit is no longer 570. You'll find out that it's probably 640, 650. If you had bankruptcies, if you had a judgment on your credit, it's no longer there. It's gone.
So that's the first thing. Check your credit.
You
Right.
know the Bible
Check your
says
credit.
people perish for
the lack of knowledge. That's what it
Well,
says.
you know, that is true. You know, and so the other day I was down at the city county building and everybody was in line paying taxes. And, you know, the way they were dressed and stuff, they wasn't looking very pleasant. You know, I guess you're not going
Giving
to be
up that
looking great
money.
when you pay taxes, you know.
Yeah.
But I had a friend of mine from
been
out
in
of
that line
town,
before.
a hard money lender. He got $1 billion and they're joint venturing with Strather Academy right now. They've given us our first loan. We're closing Monday, as a matter of fact,
Good,
for a
good.
$250,000.
Good.
And we're buying a 6-unit, by the way. One of my students is buying a 6-unit that he bought a year and a half ago for $100,000. He's borrowing $250,000. That what he bought paid $100,000 is worth $500,000. In other words, I'm telling you that the values in Detroit has quadrupled 300, 400, 500% in certain areas. So you got to know what areas to buy in. But here's the point.
This is really good news.
I asked them,
This is good news.
I said, you know, I wonder how many people in line do not realize that under the federal statute right now, that if your income is below the poverty rate, you don't have to pay taxes. That's another thing that was cut during the Obama administration.
Wow.
In other words, he cut a deal for the banks to leave us alone. They could not come after us and sue us.
Who told us? Nobody told us.
Nobody. And I'm here to tell you, because Detroiters, we suffer from a lack of knowledge. If your income is like for a single person is $17,000, you do not have to pay any property taxes whatsoever.
Wow.
Can you say that again?
If for a single person is 17, you pay no property taxes. Now let's say a single person whose income is 19,000, then you pay 50% of the taxes.
Wow.
It goes up to $44,000 for a family of 8. Let's say if you got a single mom, she got a couple of children, she can make $25,000 and pay no taxes. $24,700, somewhere right there, and pay no taxes. That is an amazing thing, because if she's going to qualify, if she's going to buy a home, she could qualify for a very beautiful home.
So what's that number tomorrow at Strather
Academy. Just call 313-444-9691. And you know what? The first 3 or 4 people to call in here to ask me some questions right now, I'm going to give you a free copy of my book. I'm going to give you a free copy of my book, because I want to engage Detroiters. Detroiters, we have to engage. It's very, very important. And I'm here, like I said, to teach everybody what the facts are.
Yes.
Now, there's help for homeowners.
Okay.
Because one of the problems is just qualifying. We took a huge hit, had a financial crisis, had bankruptcy, had scandals, all kind of stuff. And employment was at all-time high, now it's an all-time low. This is an amazing thing. Things have suddenly changed, but nobody really realized or say, hey, wait a minute, this is great. I'm okay now. My credit is okay now. I can buy a house now.
I can buy a house, yes.
So the Neighborhood Association, Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, called NACA, they came into existence, maybe 20, 30 years, about 20 years ago, but they wasn't in Detroit. And NACA assists homeowners and help them get into homes. They sued the banks, and Bank of America and Citicorp settled with them. And as a result of their settlement, they have a program they rolled out where there is no closing costs, there is no down payment, and there's no credit score needed. No credit score.
Wow.
Here's the rationale behind the credit score, Celeste. Their position is very simple. The people that had foreclosures had credit. That's how they got the mortgage that was foreclosed.
Had credit.
And they got foreclosed.
Right.
So therefore, it's not a question of whether you have credit, it's a question of whether or not you can afford to payment.
Right.
And people who can afford to payment, maybe they have an established credit, they have a low credit score, but they have a low credit score because they don't have trades.
Right.
So trade lines. So if you don't have enough credit out, it's a low credit score. Well, that is ridiculous. So they will base it upon your payment history. And let's say you haven't been good at your payment history. You know what happens? They'll sit down with your counsel and counsel you and give you a 6-month plan. And you follow that 6-month plan, then they'll finance your house. You can do a temporary land contract, which we could help you get into, or you could rent. But you got to show that you've paid those rental payments.
Right.
Now, NACA meets twice a month.
Okay.
And right now, they're meeting tomorrow, November the 3rd, at the main library. You need to contact NACA. Just go straight to your computer and you can pull that number up. Or you could call us at 313-444-9691 and we'll help you.
And so what's the requirement? You just
333.
come on out if you're interested in purchasing a home.
Absolutely. If you're interested in...
Come out of your house, come
Right.
to
Now,
this location.
Right. Now, there's 2 things that's happening. Tomorrow, the 3rd, NACA's having a seminar starting at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And in order to take a NACA mortgage, you have to attend the 4-hour seminar. That's one of the requirements. Then you have a counseling session. They pull your credit report and give you approval right then, or give you a 6-month plan to get approved.
Awesome.
Now, also, because I will be presenting there tomorrow.
Okay.
Also, tomorrow, Strather Academy is having a seminar. It is overlapping with NACA's because ours start at 1 to 4 o'clock. And these are for people who they're ready to buy. You want to find out how you can take and buy your home. We'll take you step through step how you can buy your home, not just home ownership. I'm talking about investment property. I'm talking about those who have the power to buy real estate, that have the credit, the 401ks. You can buy the real estate, you can fix this up, and you can make it available for people who want to buy homes. Now, this is the most amazing thing of all. NACA will loan 50% over and above the market value of the house.
Wow. So
Now,
you can
they'll loan 100% without a down payment for the after repair value. That's number one. And then for any repairs, let's say, for example, you want a solar roof so that you don't have to pay any more utilities.
Wow.
Or let's say you want to take your living room wall and build a flush TV screen in it. Or let's say if you want to tear the wall down and build your island in your kitchen, lay your basement out, all of these kind of great things, they will go 50% over and above the after repair value. and they give you 30-year financing at 3.65%. It is amazing.
So let me ask you this. So a person like myself, my credit is fairly good. And
Okay.
if I were to attend a conference or attend the actual meeting, what could I expect during the 4 hours? Could I come out with an approval saying that I am eligible to actually purchase a home, or how does it work?
No.
Could I actually leave, or just, it will be just information?
Well, it is a requirement, so they can explain the program to
Okay.
you. It is mandatory. If you don't take the 4 hours, you cannot borrow from them. So you will have got the certificate and have completed the 4-hour requirement. Now that you've got it, you would set up an appointment with a counselor. Now, NACA had a kind of a tough name because they had maybe 1,000 people and only 2 or 3 people helping them, and a lot of people didn't close, and they just got disgusted and say, hey, I don't want to do no business. But right now, a gentleman by the name of Donnell Covey is the manager of the Detroit office, and he's one of my students. So my student has taken over, and not only that, 2 of my students are now joining NACA this coming Monday. One is going to be a licensed real estate agent. She's licensed with me. She's going to switch her license over to NACA. Don't worry, we got the inventory. We're going to be pushing there. And the other one is going to be a counselor, and he's the person that you would be talking to and processing a mortgage through. So you have got to first attend the 4-hour session, and after you attend that, you go to the counseling session, and they'll lay it out, and they give you approval right then if you qualify. If you do not qualify, they give you a plan. Now, the question about how can you improve your credit, Margaret, so that you can qualify, there are several ways you can improve your credit. First of all, pull it through Credit Karma. It may be already there. You may not have realized it. And secondly, you can take and just join someone's trade line. Your sister, your mother, your friend got good credit. They've had a credit card. They paid it as agreed.
That's good. That's good.
Just ask them to add your name. Now, they're not going to give you their credit card, but you know what? They can add your name. If they add your name, you'll immediately adopt their credit, and just in a matter of a month, you could jump 100 points. Tomorrow, also, Detroit Diversified Members Credit Union is going to be there. What do our students do? They take their money, they open a shareholders account, they pledge that account, and they borrow against it. That's another trade line, and you can do that with your next paycheck. So.
Awesome.
We teach you, come where the dewdrops of mercy shine bright. Come to Strather Academy, and we'll show you. Our students are required to close a deal. And we take you all the way through. The phone number here is 313-868-0342. And so this is just wonderful. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. My name is Deborah James. I'm the other co-host of the show, and
I'm in great shape here. I'm in great shape.
So
everybody. Look at
excited. I am so thrilled and so excited for Mr. Satters to be here this evening, for us to really hear wonderful, great information about what you are doing for the community and for the state of Michigan. I do have one question, though.
Okay.
I would love for people to know, what are the true benefits of being a homeowner instead of renting? I know a lot of people have rented most of their life, but I would love to know, what is the benefits of being a homeowner?
Well, you know, the benefits now, Ms. James, is even better than it's ever been. First of all, you can, of course, write off the interest and save taxes. But the equity difference, right now, you could buy homes for 30 or 40% of its value. You could buy a home, and then in 5 years from now, 3 years from now, maybe even 2 years from now, that home could double in value. You could create wealth for yourself. That's number one. And
Yes,
secondly,
yes.
look at what the actual mortgage payment is. Let's put it like this. Under NACA rules, you can buy down an interest rate. Now, let me explain to you what I'm saying. Let's say if you borrowed $100,000 at 3.65% for 30 years, you would have a debt rate of 5.5%. 5.5% per 100,000. That would run to about $450 a month. For a $100,000 mortgage, it's $455 a month for a $100,000 mortgage. Now, they will allow me to buy down that rate. So watch what happens. I can buy it down 6%, and if you had a little money, you could buy it down. If we came up with $13,000, we could buy the rate down. Instead of qualifying for a $100,000 house, you could buy a house for $160,500. and still only pay $455. And look at this: if you have a Section 8 housing certificate, you can use that. If you have child support, alimony, all sources of income, you can take and use those. There's never before been a program like this. And if you do not qualify to pay property taxes, take a mother who makes $2,000 a month. She has children. She could buy her a $150,000 house. Do you know what a $150,000 house in Detroit looks like? It's a bad house.
Beautiful,
And she'll pay
beautiful,
$455 a
Four
month
bedrooms.
plus insurance. You could go to Rosedale Park. You could probably go a whole bunch of wonderful places. There's never been a time in our history to buy homes. So Detroiters, please do not sleep through this. We're sleeping through the greatest time of our life. We wake up. 70% of our houses are bought by people from the outside. And our phone number is 313-444-9691. Detroit, wake up.
Could you please give that number again? This is so important. So
All right,
important.
313-444-9691. And we're having a seminar at Tower Center. Saturday the 3rd, Saturday the 10th, and Thursday the 15th. On Thursday at 6 to 8. You can call right now, 868-0342, 313-868-0342. If you have any question whatsoever, you can call us. And our website is StratherAcademy.com. Just go there and register. Or better yet, you can just show up tomorrow. But we would like for you to call us. If you call us the first 10 people to call, we're going to give you a free copy of my book. And I'm just wrote it out, and it's not even just finishing. It's called Which Way is Detroit?
Wow,
Which
I like that.
way
That's powerful.
is Detroit?
Which
It's
way is
very
Detroit? Listen,
powerful.
we've got to go right now. Listen, we want everyone who was listening to this broadcast, you got to come back next month because it's going to get better and better and better. We've got a lot to talk about within the city of Detroit. It is the city of lights. I'm telling you, we are sounding the alarm, so make sure you're in front of that television set. We're coming back, and we're coming back strong. So please call that number. He's given the information, and I encourage you to get up off the couch and buy a house. It's time. It's time for ownership. There's property out there in the city of Detroit, and listen, you've got to assume responsibility. Purchase land in the city of Detroit, and that's what I'm going to say. That's the last part of what I need to say. I believe my co-host got something to say, and I do apologize.
And again, quickly, we want you to again tune in to Not on My Watch. We are so thankful and grateful that you came tonight, and we would love for you to come back again.
With you ladies, I will definitely be back. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, next month. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, and have a wonderful evening.